folks, here with Richard Mueck, who is really been doing some amazing things in the cinema world and in the world of life. And Richard, what's your background? What have you been doing for the last few decades?
A lot of different things. I actually started my career wanting to be a footballer, and when that failed, I went into film and television. I was fortunate enough to have a brother who was in the television industry, and he started working on Shirl's Neighbourhood when I was 16. So I would go to Channel 7 and help him out with puppetry and other things on Shirl's Neighbourhood. So when my football career finished, I didn't know what else to do. I actually left high school, literally ran away from high school, ran away from home and joined the circus. And then,
We've been having some discussions about you being potentially having the opportunity to lick Angelina Jolie's neck. What was that about?
Well, that was on a job with the mate Paul Treffray, who was actually just down here this weekend, and he's an amazing model maker and sculptor, and he had made a animatronic albatross for Angelina's movie Unbroken. And we were on set operating this, and I was operating one of the wings, and I was sort of leaning forward, and she came sort of in front of me to be next to the bird to show one of the actors where he should stand. And
that's enough context. So,
yeah.
Animatronic wings of birds, which leads us into the CTC,
the Creature Technology Company.
And you may have seen one of the ministers recently talking about their wonderful expansion and the amount of work they're doing. Can you tell us about CTC?
Yeah, CTC is an amazing company. They make life-size dinosaurs. They did the King Kong in Universal Studios. They did the live King Kong for the theatrical release. They're the state-of-the-art large animatronics company that just does the best large animatronics in the world. They did the characters for the Russian Winter Olympics. They're just extraordinary. All the Walking with Dinosaurs touring shows that have been so popular.
And you've been doing a lot of like mask work and mold work and alien characters and things. Where'd that all come from? I was burning a candle I made with you like 4 years ago.
Oh.
Like a friend got it out of the cupboard, and
Okay.
part of the molding work.
Yeah. Well, I've been working as a freelance artist for over 35 years now, and as a freelance artist, you do whatever you can. And I've been, making characters for film and television, doing all sorts of, I guess character work has been my specialization, creatures, monsters, zombies, aliens. I also like to perform, so I think what my specialty was to be able to sculpt creatures, characters, and then perform them. And I really love the performing side. So I've done lots of alien work, zombie work, creature work.
So where does Richard stop and the alien or the zombie begin?
This is an interesting question. It's all one, really.
And do you sort of give up having to wear the facade and just be the alien and the zombie while you're walking around? Like, is that really what's in there?
No.
Is that in there for everybody?
I'm not exactly sure what that means. But it's just fun. It's fun playing make-believe, and it's fun accessing those parts of yourself. It's really fun.
Yeah, and I said, where are we? And he's like, we're in Heidelberg, the Brighton of the North. Ivanhoe, the Brighton of the North.
Is the Brighton of the North.
And you're working on a pretty interesting project at the moment. We're here talking about all the potential pitfalls of manufacturing and sourcing from north of Australia. And can you have some of these lovely?
Yeah. So and this is the. I've been.
We have to hold them a little higher.
I've been making things for 35 years, but I've never actually made a product. And the difference between making something to use on film and television or to reproduce a few times as opposed to mass producing something is huge. And I've always wanted to create my own toy company. I've been designing toys for 15 to 20 years, but I've always been licensing my toys to somebody else, and have always been disappointed when my concepts weren't followed through in the way that I envisioned them. And so I've finally managed the courage to step up and take on the challenges of manufacturing. And yeah, I'm really excited. I've got this first project. We're now having the mold made in China, and looking to do a crowdfunding campaign, relatively soon, next month or so.
And we're looking at demonstration mold here, preliminary mold. What are these?
These are called Upple. It's and it really needs something to
spin on.
Because they're actually.
Let's see if we can do this quickly. I'll be flat.
So it basically is. It can't tip.
Whoa! With a big enough surface.
But it spins, and then it also has a light. You might not be able to see the light.
Because it's daytime.
It's daytime, and this is a more opaque prototype. But basically, there'll be have a transparent. The top will be transparent, and you'll be able to spin them. The light comes on, and it can be plugged in and used as a night light.
So why?
It's very, very simple. I asked that question myself. This kind of got downloaded to me in the middle of the night, and I just woke up with this. I like the way they all sort of sway and they all sort of spin together.
What does it represent to you?
Well, to me,
tell us about the Richard in these.
Well, I was, I wondered why I was asking myself, why am I doing this? I don't really know why I'm doing this. This just is this another trinket? The world doesn't need another trinket, another novelty gift. And but it's like I had this whisper, there was this little voice in the back of my head, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to put this out there. And I'm going, why? And when I started writing about it, and I started realizing this was actually a metaphor for my life, and about constantly failing, being knocked down, but always getting up. And no matter how many times, I would get knocked down, I realized I got up and I kept going, and then ultimately finding the light within. And I can't see that light.
It's the curse of filmmaking. It's the day. You can't overcome the day with the torch.
You won't be able to see the light inside. But it was basically about, I realized, wow, this is an Upple. It always gets up. No matter how many times you get knocked down, you get Upple. And about finding the light within you when you do so. And I just realized, wow, this isn't just a novelty. This is a metaphor for my life. And I realized this is the story about overcoming depression, anxiety, failure, and being able to, live your dream and pursue your dream and do it and do something with it.
And it's a step. And from what I understand, it's a stepping stone. A stepping stone to
a toy company that I've started called Lionhearted Toys, which is going to be a platform for all the toys that I've licensed in the past but have failed, that I felt weren't done correctly. And I have a backlog of fabulous toys that I want to create worlds and characters for, to make a better world. Basically, I'd like to be able to bring ideas of non-violent communication through the characters and stories. Tell good stories, basically.
And we talked about the gap between existing. I'm going to put this down if you don't mind.
Sure.
Between good-looking things and educational things.
Yeah, well, I believe there's a massive gap between the brand toys, which have all the razzmatazz and look fantastic and have they look amazing, but they have no heart, they have no soul, they have no values or principles. And then there's the educational toys, which often have all the values and the principles and the heart, but they don't have the razzmatazz. They don't have the ability to grab kids with great design and great stories. And I mean, again, that's an exaggeration. I'm sure there are many, but for me, I felt there's a big gap between those two extremes.
I feel you're entitled to your observation and inspiration. I'm going to wrap this up because we're approaching the 10-minute mark for LinkedIn videos, and I don't want to chop this into two because that's more work for me. So I'm going to get out of here. You're going to get out of here, and I'm going to make sure there's a link in the bottom of this so you can stay informed about Upple. Click the link, fill in your details, and we'll be able to promote and share. Good for you.
That's awesome, Philip.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Thank you.